Good morning, sweet friends. Welcome to today's event. Today, sponsoring our funding, benefiting our friends, Miss Beth Beck and her husband Randy, as they have experienced quite a tragedy this week. Our crafting and creative community are coming together this week to join forces to show them our love and support with these fundraising benefit events. We appreciate your support today. If you would like to stick around at the end of today's project, the last about 8 or 7 minutes of today's project, it will be auctioned off to the highest bidder. If you would like to stick around and make a donation, there is a link down at the bottom of my screen where you can make a donation, no matter how big or small. We know that Beth and Randy appreciate your support, and so do we. Thank you for being here today. Good morning, Miss Dina. How are you? I'm so excited to be here and honored, first of all, because Beth has touched my heart in such a special way. And I consider her one of my creative sisters, and I thank you for being here, for not only for all of us today, but to show her and Randy your love and support. So without further ado, we are going to trudge right along here, and we are going to make sure that we do this project justice today. No matter where you are watching me from, you may be watching me in the Craft from the Clock group today, or you may also be watching me from the Sparkle Room. We are co-hosting this magical event today. We hope that it just warms their heart and shows them how much we love and support them during this time. Thank you so much for being here. So let's hop to it. Thank you all so much. We're doing something fairly simple today because we know we're only going to have about 20 minutes to put this project together, and I want to make sure that it is something worthy of something that would be in memory of someone. If you like angels, you'll like this project. If you like primitive and rustic style, you'll like this project as well. So come on in here. Good morning, Miss Charlene. Hello, Miss Janet. Thank you all so much for being here today. So, deep breath and let's go on, right? Okay, we're using a Dollar Tree mop. A Dollar Tree mop head, you guys. I have already kind of taken it apart and disassembled it, but the mop is just the cheapy mop from the Dollar Tree. And it comes, and of course it has tons of these little mop strands, right? So I have taken them all apart, disassembled them, and I've unwound some of these strands. And so I had a little bit of help last night. I had my youngest kiddo, Sawyer. He was in here helping me untwine these little threads on this little mop string. And it's so easy. You just unwind them and then just pull them, thread them apart. Now this little mop, when you first start to handle it, does get the little fuzzies on it. You see them flying out. So we were itching our nose. But once you're finished, you can spray it with a little bit of matte sealer, and it kind of helps hold together those fuzzies and those little flyaways a little bit better. You could also probably use some hairspray as well. All right, so I'm just kind of showing you how I pull those apart. Thank you, Miss Wanda. Thank you, Miss Kathy. I appreciate you. So I've pulled all of those apart, and I lay them in a nice, neat stack. Okay, now this primitive little style angel that we are going to put together also has lots of different textures because that's what's going to give it interest, right? So not only do I have a pile of mop strings here. Let me show you what I have. I have a pile of mop strings right here. Right here, and I've got them all laid out kind of in the same lengths. Okay, there's a few that are a little bit shorter than others, and that's perfect because you want a little bit of variation in lengths. Honestly, you want them similar but not exactly the same. All right, and then even some of the other mop strings I have even left intact. Like some of them I did not ravel out. So let me show you the difference. You've got a skinny strand and a much thicker strand. I like the variation, okay? And some of them I've kind of only partially untwined just so that they're a little bit loose. I've even done that to some as well. All right, so I don't want to mess up my stack too much more. All right, and then also I'm pulling in some other types of fabrics as well. I have some homespun, which is going to give it that primitive look. Homespun is just a material that is the same color not faded. It's the same color vibrancy on both sides, and it's like a gingham or a plaid or stripe fabric that sort of has a little bit of a tea stain or coffee stain appearance to its coloration, okay? So I've put some of those strands, and I did not make them all the same. I have them a little bit different lengths, just like the mop strings. And I'm going to kind of roll around my pile, and I'm going to place these in various parts, okay? Because if I clump them all together, they will appear in a clump whenever I put my angel together in a minute. We want to kind of evenly distribute them around our pile, if that makes any sense. Okay. All right. So I'm a little bare right here, so I'm going to kind of tuck one down in there, and then we'll go from there. I think that'll be good. This one is a little bit thicker. I like the different thicknesses as well. This one might be a little too thick. So these are just fabric tears. I've taken a piece of fabric, I make a slit in the top, and then just tear it down. Good morning, Rita. Good morning, Noelle. Good morning, Miss Patty. Thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. There is a GoFundMe link that has been pinned at the bottom of my video. If it's not there when you're watching this video, there is a little link. It looks like a little chain link icon at the bottom of your screen. If you tap on that and find the link that says GoFundMe, that will be the link where you can make your donation today or sometime during this event. Or if you win the highest bid on today's project, that will be the link where you will go to make your payment, okay? All creators are paying shipping for these items that you win today. So you don't have to worry about the shipping. All you will do is make a donation and send your creator a screenshot or, you know, the confirmation where you have made your donation as proof of payment. Okay, good morning, Miss Joyce and Carol. Good morning, Miss Nellie. All right, I have some other little pieces of fabric. These are kind of like a cheesecloth, and these are a creamy white color. Probably, if time would allow, I would probably use a little bit of coffee staining on these, and I probably will go ahead and add that coffee staining coloration to this when I am finished today. So the finished project will have a little bit of that coffee aroma to it. Nothing strong whatsoever. It's a very subtle, soft smell that I think everyone will enjoy. If you've used my coffee grunge mix that most of you see me use on my projects, it's going to smell just like that. It smells so amazing. My pupster is pacing the floor, and he's going to ring his bell in a minute. Of course. He even went out before I started my live. You go sit down, buddy. All right, now I do have some other cheesecloth. This is a little more scraggly, okay? I'm placing that in my mix. I want different tones, different shapes and textures, different lengths. I'm just kind of placing these in. This would be a good project if you have some scrap materials, some scrap fabric. The perfect project for this. So I have just pulled apart some strips of this, and I'm just placing it in my little roll here. And here in a minute, you'll see us, we'll put this little roll all together, and our angel will start to take shape. Okay, I've got it in a nice, neat little roll here. So let me give you a close-up view. Here's all the yummy textures that you see. Okay, that's what is going to be visible in your angel, in the flowy part of your angel, if you will. Okay, good morning, Miss Stephanie. How are you? We're making a primitive angel today out of a mop head and some scrap fabrics. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to eyeball the center point, okay, and pick it up like so. I'm going to kind of straighten it out. I'm going to give it a shake and see if I like the look of it. I have a little bit too much white right here, so I'm going to kind of roll it, and I'm going to kind of pull apart some and just really just kind of shuffle it around a little bit so that I get a look that I'm happy with. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Now I'm going to kind of eyeball it, and I'm going to see it right in the center. Now that if you see, we have different colors and we have different lengths, and if you had everything the same length, it would be really blunt at the bottom, and I wanted to avoid that. So I have I'll get the word out in a minute. I have made those lengths separate and different for that very reason. Now I'm going to take a string of twine, and I'm going to ball it at the top, sort of like you would if you're making a tassel. And you totally could make this a tassel if you would like. However, we're going to put a little bit of a vintage spin on it here in just a moment. Thank you, Miss Mary. Thank you, thank you. And I'm just going to tie it super tight. I mean, as tight as I possibly can get it. I want to smash all of those together there. Now, I still didn't get it as tight as I really needed to. All right. There we go. Tied it like so. Now, I'm going to take this twine and I'm going to put a dab of hot glue. Let's start on the back where I have that knot. And I'm going to put some hot glue, and we are going to start wrapping the top of this just haphazardly, nothing in a particular way. This is going to form the little head of our angel. Okay, just wrap, wrap, wrap. You want to go in slightly different angles whenever you're wrapping. That'll give it more interest, and it will also help hold your shape. That hot glue got me, you guys. It will help hold your shape as well after you get it finished. So go up, go down, go crisscross. Just keep wrapping until you get that top part pretty much covered. Let's do a time check. We're good. We are good. All right. Like I said, at the last probably 7 minutes of today's video, this project will be auctioned at the highest bidder. And there is a link for donations pinned at the bottom. If you press the link icon at the bottom of my video, it will show you some links. If you select the one that says GoFundMe, that is the official GoFundMe account for our friends Beth and Randy. And we are so happy and honored that we can use our talents to support our friends during this tough time. Okay. Now, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the very top covered. So I'm going to keep going, and hopefully, hopefully we'll twine that around. And if not, that's okay. I've got another idea as well. Pongo, go get in your bed, buddy. Go get in your bed. He's trying to be patient. Go get in your bed. Go on. He's like, no, Mom. Go get in your bed. All right. I literally took him out right before I started, so he'll be okay. All right. I have wrapped this as well as I can, and I still have a little bit of a bald spot at the top. That's okay. We're going to cover that up. So let's put some hot glue. Actually, I'm going to wrap this around and tie it. That's what I'm going to do first, and then secure it with some hot glue. Okay. All right. Hot glue down, and we can even go back and cover that little dab of hot glue with a little fabric strip later to hide that little dab of hot glue. But you definitely want to make sure you have the hot glue on there really well to hold that string in place. Okay. Let me get that hot glue off my hand there. Thank goodness it wasn't super hot when I touched it. Okay, this is what we have so far. So far, that's what we have. All right, now, woohoo, touched it again. For the next part, I have a vintage masher. Okay, whew, got fuzzies. I need to definitely seal that with some hairspray or some sealer spray whenever you're finished, because the fuzzies from the mop can get a little crazy, especially if you're handling it quite a bit. All right, so this is a vintage, just an architectural salvage piece that's something like this, only it's a black piece, okay? It's got lots of good chippy paint and layers to it. I have hot glue strands all around. Now, I have using some Tite Bond Quick and Thick to adhere this along with a little bit of hot glue to get a quick stick, okay, while the Tite Bond Quick and Thick dries. Now, all of the adhesive will dry clear when it's finished. This is going to be the stand that I'm going to put my angel on. Okay, now what you will see is that once you put this angel on, if you wanted to use this as a little mini tree topper, you totally could. You totally could. But you could just separate the bottom of the mop and stick this down over your tree topper, and this could form as a tree topper. How amazing would that be? Now we've got to finish it up, of course. We've got to add some wings and things like that. But this is going to be the stand for our vintage primitive angel, you guys. Falling in love with this already. Now, I'm going to let the auction winner tell me how they want this. If they want it attached to this, I will go ahead and hot glue it. In fact, you know what? I think I am going to go ahead and hot glue it for the simple reason that I know that it'll come off very easily. The hot glue should peel right off the top of this. And even if there's hot glue residue left under this, it's going to be hidden, okay? But I think for demonstration purposes, I'm going to have this secured onto this little stand because we have to add the wings. I am loading that center up with some hot glue and placing it over the top of my wooden masher. All right, now we're just going to fluff it up. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. How are you, sweet friend? Thank you. Oh, Miss Shana, I'm so excited that you're here. I know you're working today. I know that your heart is here in spirit. Gosh, I know that would be so hard to have to watch from work. We love you, friend. Good morning, Miss Pam. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Isn't that cute? Now, if you see that some of your fabric strings aren't kind of evenly distributed like you'd want, you can fuss with them. You can even fuss with them after the fact, okay? Now, for the top, I'm going to add just a little bit of Spanish moss. Let's do a quick time check. Good deal. We're good. I think I'm going to put a little bit of Spanish moss on her head for the hair. Actually, hold on. Let's see. Would we rather use wool? No, I think I like the Spanish moss look. Okay. There we go. All right, and that's just going to kind of help also hide any areas that maybe we didn't get that twine covered on. All right, now you can add as much or as little as you want. I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. I'll do a quick check of it after we're finished and see if we like it. Now, I have some pip berries that we're going to add to the top as her halo. So I've just taken a little twine of pip berries. These are very common in primitive style decorating. It's just one little tendril of some brown, very neutral colored pip berries. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of this, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to kind of angle it upwards, okay, so that is a little bit more visible. I'm going to only put glue in the very back of this little halo, and I'm going to kind of tilt it up so that it dries angled up, and that way her little halo is a little bit more visible than if we just laid it flat on her head. Okay, hopefully that's dry enough that we can leave that and move on. Our next step is some wings. I have taken a strip of burlap, okay, and I have cut it down to size, and I've made almost like a bow, okay, 2 loops. And I've cut the center down, okay? Because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tie these together, okay, with a string of twine. And these will form her wings. All right, so tie these together. Good morning, Miss Sandy. Good morning, Miss Christina. How are you, sweet friend? All right, tie this in a knot. Thank you all so much for being here. And whoever has sent the stars, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Doris. How are you? Thank you, Miss Sybil. All right, I have tied that in a knot, and these will form as her wings, okay? Now you can pull them apart a little bit. I will be adding some coffee grunge mix to these to kind of primitive them up a little bit so that they have a little bit of that coffee stain look to them, okay? I'm going to glue this right onto the back. I'm going to make sure that I put lots of good glue on there because we want good stick action going on here. Yep. It got me. Okay. There we go. I'm going to press and hold that really good. And we're going to let it dry for a minute. Good morning. Oh, thank you, Miss Beth. This will be auctioned off at the highest bidder. We have about 3 more minutes before we start our auction. And I think this is good to stay out all year, but it's definitely something sweet. You could purchase this for someone and give as a memory gift. But it could also serve as a Christmas tree topper as well if you want to remove it from the masher stand. Okay. All right. Is that not sweet? Now, if you wanted to also, I got hot glue on my thumbs. We can also bring around some little strands. Let me pull some out here. Pull around some little strands. You can braid them if you want and make some sort of little arms. I'm going to take some and I'm going to pull them around, and I will show you guys in just a minute. I kind of needed to bring it around here. I'm going to kind of twist them. I'm not going to braid them because everything in primitive I think needs to look a little bit more tattered, and braided might look a little bit too much put together for me. So I'm going to twist them, okay? And then I'm going to bring them around to the front like so, okay? And then I'm going to take another little mop string that's kind of short here, and I'm going to tie those together. And then we'll put some pit berries. Let me turn this around so I can be much faster as well. Tie this, her little arms together. Oh, those little mop strings are so soft, it doesn't want to hold together real well. All right. There's her arms. And then we are going to put in a little strand of pip berries. Now, let's see. Yes, this is going to be so cute. All right, we're going to put in a little strand of pip berries right in her hands, and I will secure these with a little bit of some wire. All right, let me look at this from the front. Pip berries are very common in primitive style decorating, you guys. They just kind of have that rustic flair to them, earthy, natural-ish look, and these are warm colors of browns and a little bit of a burnt orange or a mustard color, and black. Okay, I think those just tie in the colors together that we have going on. Now we can add a little star at the top, and I think finished. We have 1 minute until we start our auction. And if you would like to bid on today's project, we ask that there be no dollar signs or decimal signs in your comment below. So if you would like to, you can start the bidding now. I will be going by the comments that I see on my live screen, okay, which may appear different than the comments that you see on your screen, okay. I'm going to put a little rusty star right there, and then I will probably put a little bit of another little homespun bow right there in the center. All right. Okay. Good morning from Canada, Miss Carol. We are starting the bidding now. We will take the highest bidder up until 8:30. I'm going by the bids that I see on my live screen, and if you are the winning bidder, you will make your a payment to the GoFundMe account for Beth and Randy. That's what we are doing. This is a donation of mine that I'm giving towards their fund. Okay. Good morning, Miss Kathy. How are you? Yes, it's a GoFundMe account. So if you've ever made a GoFundMe donation, that's how you will do that. Okay. It's super easy. All right. Good morning. I see $10 from Miss Linda. Now, don't forget, you are getting the whole ensemble here, you guys. You are getting the stand, which is a vintage masher. Let me show you. If you missed the beginning, I see 50 from Miss Christina at the Rest Covered Cottage. Okay, so you have a vintage masher, okay, that has been attached to an architectural salvage piece, which is it looks like this, only it's a black version. It has good chippy paint on it and has all that rustic primitive look to it. And then, of course, you get the mop angel as well. We need to trim that little piece up here. I'm still seeing 50 as my highest bid so far. I see 60 from Miss Mary Miller. Thank you so much. And after, thank you, Miss Kathy from the Vintage, or Miss Stephanie from the Vintage Pebble. Thank you. I will be giving her a little bit of a coffee grunge effect to her wings to give them a little bit of that look. I see, let's see, we still have Miss Mary Miller at 60. Thank you. I see Miss Stephanie from the Vintage Pebble at 75. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. I love her wings. If you'd like to go ahead and see the back, there's the back. And there she is from the front. Is that not sweet? I see Miss Angie Emery at 76. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Tina. I love her. I'm going to probably make me another one of these as well to keep up all year long. Thank you for the Rest Covered Cottage for 80. Thank you, thank you. I see the Rest Covered Cottage at 80. I see Lisa Lanier Seiler at 100. I see Miss Deborah Ragsdale Jones Pace at 105. I see the Rest Covered Cottage at 125. Thank you all so much. We have 4 more minutes. When I do say stop, I will do a 20-second countdown to accommodate the delay and the lag, okay? Let's see. Sharon, I see Terry. Thank you all so much for your bids. Right now, I see the Rest Covered Cottage at 125. Your comments, I see you, Diane. I see you. Right now, I see 125 is from the Rest Covered Cottage. She was the first one to bid 125. You must bid higher than 125. All right, she's sweet. Love the pit berries and the Miss Deborah Ragsdale Jones Pace is at 130. She's the first one that I see on my screen at 130. So 130 or higher. 130 is our current bid. 145 is the Rest Covered Cottage. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, friend. 145 is our current bid. I may not be, but I have to go by the screen that I'm seeing. I know that's the only fair way to do it is by going by the comments on mine. Let's see. I'm scrolling back to make sure the Rest Covered Cottage has it at 145 right now. We have about 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. 145 is right now is our current bid from the Rest Covered Cottage. That's okay. We're going to give it 20 or 30 seconds after I say stop to accommodate anything else. Barb Pfeiffer at 150 is the first 150. So 150. 150 is Miss Barb. Barb Pfeiffer is 150, the first one that I see on my screen. If you would like, it needs to be higher than 150. Miss Barb has it right now at 150. Thank you. The Rest Covered Cottage is at 160. Miss Roxanne is at 175. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. 175 is Miss Roxanne Saxberg. And we have about 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Roxanne is at 175 right now. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Now listen, you do not have to win an item today in order to make a donation. Any donation of any size, you all know, is a blessing to their hearts. So if you do not want to bid on an item during today's event, please also feel free to go ahead and make a donation at that link below. I see Miss Deborah Ragsdale Jones at 185. So 185 is our highest bid at this point. 185 is to Deborah Ragsdale Jones Pace is 185. Do we have a 190? Do we have a 195? Do we have a 200? Do we have a 200? You have some good solid pieces to this, you guys. Good solid pieces. And I will do a look over and a final quality inspection before I ship her out. 200, Miss the Rest Covered Cottage, 200. Deborah Ragsdale Jones at 205. You will also need to message me your mailing address, okay? And I will be messaging you if I don't hear from you probably within the next 24 hours. 205 is our current high bid, and that's for Deborah Ragsdale Jones Pace. At 205, do we have a 215? Do we have a 215? We have like 30 seconds left, and I'm going to do a countdown, you guys. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I have a 225 from Miss Yvonne at Southern Designs and Finds. 225 to Miss Yvonne. Do we have a 235? Do we have a 235? I'm making sure I didn't miss anyone. Going back. Do we have a 235? We have 225 is our current bid right now to Miss Yvonne. All right, I'm doing a 20-second countdown. And if any bids come in that are higher than 225, we'll have it. 235 is Deborah. 235 is Deborah Ragsdale Jones Pace. I'm at 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the rest covered cottage at 250. Oh, thank you all so much. If you are the highest bidder, please make sure that you use the GoFundMe link at the bottom of your screen to make your donation. Send me a screenshot, please, by messenger and your mailing address. Thank you all so much. Please enjoy the rest of today's event. We thank you all so much from the bottom of our heart. Have a great day.